Like we said in last week's episode, it can project good through inclusion, through representation, through diversity. But it also worsens the problem of self-doubt. Whether it be comparing appearance, intelligence, or lifestyle, it makes us compare ourselves to others more. But Zander Betterton, an amazing cinematographer, photographer, editor, creator, and friend, and also the man filming this right now, suggests a different solution: mindfulness, the active practice of being in the here and now, not worrying about what other people are thinking, what's been going on in the past, what's been going on in the future, not comparing yourself to others.
How how would you compare yourself from when before you started mindfulness to where you are now?
Well, I think that, so to start things up, I feel like I still waste time. It's like, I feel like it's impossible to make like, ultra productive and use every moment. But I think before I got really into mindfulness, which is probably like last October is when I kind of just got really into it. I think before that I definitely wasted a lot of time. It's not that I wasn't applying myself, I just wasn't really driven. I didn't have something I focused on. Like I was in the video and photo and stuff, and I do things occasionally, but I didn't have goals. I didn't have a place where I was keeping track of stuff, and I just kind of like, I don't know, like in the moment I'd be like, okay, well I guess I'll play video games or watch 3 hours of YouTube tonight. Like I just didn't really have a whole lot. It was just kind of like menial tasks, like, oh, I guess I'll mow the lawn or something. So I think that with mindfulness, I've become more aware of my time and more aware of my goals, so I can try to maximize the time and get stuff done.
How do you practice mindfulness?
I mean, mindfulness is often associated with meditation, so that I feel like is the main way that I practice it. So I try to meditate every day. It kind of varies in time, like 6 to 10 minutes. I have an app, just plays like some ambient sound, so I just put in my headphones and like sit with my eyes closed and just try to not think, you know, in my head. And then I think the other way I practice mindfulness is with various journaling. So like I have like a journal with like full length entries. So like every couple of days I try to sit down and write about stuff, and I think that's a good way with mindfulness, because I mean there's one thing to like think in your head, and then just like putting it down on paper, you kind of see it in a different perspective. You kind of reword things and rethink things. And then related to journaling, I have like an app on my phone where I just like create little entries, and then I also use my bullet journal as more of like a scheduling, time tracking thing. Like I always try to have at least one thing to focus on, because if I don't have that, I'll just wake up and just go back into my default state of just like waiting for something to do. But I think that the mindfulness practice with the meditation, and then also the, I guess, mindfulness practice of journaling / bullet journaling really gives me that focus for the day. And it tells me what I need to do. And it tells me, I can look back on the journal entries and see like last night or the night before how excited I was to work on this project. So today, I need to work on this project, otherwise I'm letting my past self down who's excited about it.
So going beyond your just creative process, how have you struggled with self-doubt?
I feel like I don't think I'm overly confident, but I feel like self-doubt has not really been as much of a problem with me until I like started trying to put stuff out there. But then now I feel like trying to build a brand and have like a consistent image is like that kind of like, I was more conscious about every decision I made because I wanted it to all kind of fit together. Last week when we were watching that video, and there was like the guy making the video about like his morning routine or something, and they were commenting on it, that like really like just like destroyed my hopes and dreams of like wanting to do YouTube, because seeing like that guy, like they were really making fun of him, like he had terrible tips, it was bad, and I was like, oh, like you really need to think about what you're saying and like really truly believe it, because you could tell he was just making up like morning routine tips to sell his hair product, and it was ridiculous. And maybe he spends like two hours at the gym in the morning, and then he goes and grinds on his business, and then goes to the recording studio. But like, I feel like there's a lot of fake stuff in that video, and then people obviously saw that, and I thought it was funny to watch, and I just really wanted people to take me seriously and not end up like that. So I think I do sometimes worry that I am not being authentic. Like, I try to stay authentic in stuff I really believe in, so it's not like an obvious lie or one of those day in my life videos that it's like 3 days of footage combined, you know.
I know in the past that you struggled with I guess letting that fear control you and delay your creative process. So how have you beat that fear?
Well, I'm not actually sure that I have. I feel like it's too early to talk about it. But good question. I filmed another video, like this silly one, but this video is definitely like different. It's not, I mean, I wouldn't call what I do like self-help, but it's like informative or like somewhat useful. This is just kind of like messing around in the park. I mean, I really like the song that I found. I think the video is like absolutely hilarious. I just keep watching it, and I don't think that anyone else, I'm not sure that anyone else might feel that way. So I'm kind of like, and like, I mean, it's obviously not perfect. I have to get over it. It's not perfect. But you know what? It's whatever. I'm going to post it. Like, right now, I'm serious about posting it. I'm going to do it before I change my mind. Yeah. Because, like, I mean, like, what's the worst that could happen? I really don't see any way where, like, this fear is legitimate. But also, I'll try to keep in mind the advice you gave me the first time we filmed this, where you said to keep the person in mind who just comes across one of my videos and sees it, and then they check out my channel and they find that like that's the only video like it. Like, I need to think about that and make it for the people watching that haven't discovered it yet. I don't want YouTube success or anything, but I feel like I have some knowledge that I'd like to share, and I feel like a lot of mindfulness stuff can be like overly spiritual, like a lot of like Buddhists, and I'm just trying to keep it regular and trying to create things that like teenagers can relate to. You could even say that I'm trying to create advice for my older self, like 1 or 2 years ago when I just kind of like didn't have a whole lot of goals or motivation, like how to make his life better, try to impact that. So going forward, I'll keep that in mind, and that's how I help people.
What would you say to people who are struggling with self-doubt?
Well, I would say definitely don't compare yourself to others, which is like easy advice to give, but pretty hard to follow. Like, how do you just stop? I can relate to that because I'm like, well, that person is really attractive and they also got a 5 on their AP calculus exam, and they're so smart and they're all these clubs and activities. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, wait a second. What I do is like, I think to myself my own attributes and like affirm my own values. Like, you can see they're not perfect. They're not better than you in every way. There's still something that you do better than them. But then also, just, I would say, you're probably doing fine. You're most likely being really, really critical of yourself because everyone has a bit of perfectionist in them, and because you just really want to come off as this or something else. And I feel like it's just that people are often really critical of themselves. So just know that you're probably fine. Because like this interview, I'm like, oh God, what am I saying? I don't know anything. Like, no, you just talk. It'll come out fine. It's all good. Yeah. So just relax. That's what I would say. But also maybe that's bad advice if someone I don't know. I mean, if someone has like crippling anxiety or something, like maybe I'm not the best person to listen to. But also, that was a little bit of self-doubt right there. So that's what I would say to myself right now, is just chill out, it's whatever.
Mindfulness is not about religion or spirituality. It isn't about feeling good all of the time. It's not about curing all your worries, anxieties, fears. It's about accepting them
and truly living regardless. We are all designed to be imperfect, but the greatest failing is thinking that's a mistake.